Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cactus Patch. I am your host, Glitch Cactus, but you can call me Cactus. And today we're talking about the current largest Splatoon land to date. That is right, we are discussing Riptide 2025. And who better to have to discuss this incredible event than one of the TOs themselves? Joining me on the podcast, we have Krakenmare. Krakenmare, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Cactus. It's another lovely day. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. Good to talk to you. We only got to talk a little bit during Riptide, but you know what? We get to talk more now, right?
Exactly. I think the one time we did talk was me saying I'm where my team's all in the room already, and you're like, you get a gold star.
Yes. Hey, when people get in the lobby, it makes me so happy. It makes me so
Yeah.
happy.
I mean, it keeps things moving smoothly, it keeps things running along, especially when you're trying to make sure that the time limit you have for the day is met as close as possible.
Yeah. And we had done some new systems this year, so no, I think we'll probably end up talking about them eventually. So
Hmm.
I won't spoil too much. Got to keep the viewers here till
Yeah,
the end.
exactly.
For those that didn't go to Riptide. But so seeing people utilize those systems efficiently made me so happy. So there was plenty of people that did, especially by day 2 and day 3,
Mhm.
as they learn those new systems that I think a good chunk of them will end up keeping going forward because they seem to have gone pretty well.
Well, that's exciting to hear, and I'm definitely interested to find out a lot more about that. But before we get into all of that, let's go back. Let's rewind time a bit and take me to the beginning. How did you get into Splatoon in general? Like, what was that turning point where it was like, I want to start playing this?
I am a day one first test fire person. I am one of those since the
Oh.
beginning. Yeah, I'm old around here, Cactus. No, I dabbled in Splatoon literally from the first moment of the first game in the first test fire. Got the game the moment it came out. It was my last day of one of my high school years.
Mhm.
It was one of my last days there, and I literally got up and said, it was the last day of finals. I didn't care. I was getting there. I was playing that game for a few hours before I went back to bed, and with that, right,
Mhm.
I even went to school that day wearing, like, a squid hat. I had, like, a shirt. It was like a bowling shirt, but it had a bunch of, like, blotches of, like, color. So
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm gonna wear that so it looks like it's, like, a paint worn," and
That's honestly so
I
dope.
I celebrated Splatoon 1 right from the beginning, and, I didn't hop into competitive frame 1, but I was already
Mhm.
in and around that community, and within the first few months, I was playing competitively, and have been playing competitively ever since. At minimum, slight, breathers over the years,
Mhm.
between TOing and such, I would occasionally kinda stop for playing, but I still play all the time, still TO all the time. Heck, we're doing stuff just this week here for TZS prepping for the NA League.
That's right. And, yeah, it's crazy to think how soon the NA League is. Um, Especially since this weekend will be one of the first of two preseason days. So, what got you into like wanting to really push the game into competing, right? Because I feel like a lot of times when you see a game like this, where first of its kind, right, for like a kind of kid-friendly shooter, um, what was that kind of point where you were like, this could be fun to play at a competitive level rather than just something you can do casually?
I have a background even before Splatoon of playing competitively with COD, so
Okay.
I already had a little bit of background with shooters, playing competitive. Um, we did a lot of practice and such for that. Nothing too crazy dabbling into that. So I kind of already had that competitive push in me.
Hmm.
And while that one, we kind of caught it a little late, so we didn't end up really doing too much with it.
Yeah.
This, I was like, yes, I'm in, and it worked out really well. That I was able to find some different people actually through Pokemon Showdown. They used to have a Splatoon room in there.
No way.
Um, that'll come up a few times, I'm sure, in these conversations as we're talking. But the Pokemon Showdown used to have a Splatoon room, and that's where actually was where I found my first team. We got together, and so, like I said, I had that desire going into this well before the series even existed. I had that competitiveness, and then of course, uh, I was able to pick it up with this game as I really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, that's incredible to hear that like something like Pokemon Showdown. I remember like using that, of course, like way back when for just learning the battle and stuff. Like that's so cool to know they had branched a little bit and had like a Splatoon like little room section. Do you remember some of like the first uh like team, like the name of the first teams you were on still?
Oh, Inkling Academy. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you actually might know some of the people that were on that team. There are still 2 members that are around this community other than myself.
Really?
Uh, uh, the first one is for those that, do a lot of NA tournaments, you might know SOS, Blue
Mhm.
Tulip, the TO there, he was a
Oh,
substitute for us and
wow.
played a little bit for us. Yeah. And then, this one's probably the one most well known if you are a, if you know Starburst, Ice, the sniper.
No
We got
way.
competitive together. The 3 of us, yeah, along with some other folks that no longer play anymore, but I talk to a good chunk of them still to this day, which I think is cool here and there, which is awesome. But yeah, what a what a what a wild path we've all taken.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly incredible. Like, that's what I always love when, like, something like that is, like, from the beginning. Like, just knowing that at one point, everyone was at, like, the same point, the same level. Like, just the getting into to the start and then just seeing the journey everyone decides to take going forward. So that's so cool.
Yeah, I think I was it's so fun. It's so fun seeing everybody branch out, over the years and how everyone's found a role and still really enjoys Splatoon for the most part. The three of us still play Splatoon at least a little bit. Two Up more, to the best of my knowledge, is more of just TOing more than playing, but plays a little bit on the side.
Mhm.
We played together not too long ago, and then obviously we all know that Ice still competes to this day. So,
Yeah, yep.
yeah, so like we're all been all over the place. But I think it's just one of those cool things, and it was all because of the Pokemon Showdown room. Seriously, that's where it came from. It stemmed from there. Uh, and that's where the first team started, and then we rolled beyond that afterward, but that's
Mhm.
that's where the roots are from, is where we met each other, was there in Splatoon.
That's incredible. So that's where you kind of got your first like dabble into finding a team and kind of going through how many Splatoon teams have you been on, if you're able to recall? Because obviously we know most well known you're on Triggerfish Zone Supremacy today, but in your, I guess, competitive lifespan, which is like what, 10 years now of Splatoon,
Yeah.
how many teams would you say you've been on?
uh you're gonna make me do math here, Cactus, on the fly. I can't believe this. You know what? We'll rally them off, because I mean it's probably roughly around 10. I think I've stabilized a lot more in recent years, but
Yeah.
early on it was kind of a lot of bang bang bang.
Hmm.
We had IA, which is Inkling Academy, was the first one there. And then I joined another team, Nocturnal Squids, there in Splatoon 1 still. And then I found a group that I play with a lot. A lot of them now don't play Splatoon, but I still do a lot of stuff outside of Splatoon with them.
Okay.
Um, was the Apotheosis crew. We kind of reformed the team a million times. So I don't want to say that those are all separate teams. It was like 3 or 4 of the same people plus a random person. So we kind of grouped that as one.
Yeah.
And then I had like Overdrive, which actually is where I met like Astro, who ended up being a teammate of mine through Ink Sigma, uh, which a lot of Sigma players still play, but now for TZS. So
That's
that's kind of my
incredible.
journey there. So that's what, 7 teams ish. And I think
Hmm.
there's probably 1 or 2 I'm forgetting in there, dabbled in there,
Yeah.
that maybe was short stints that I didn't really work out for me.
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, so like then we had Sigma there, and that's where the current players of Pork Schmork and Mewtwo that still play with me at TZS, that's where I met them, was through Ink Sigma. And then obviously I still talk to all the Sigma folks. They're great.
Mhm.
The only 3 that of us that play comp are all on TZS now. So and then so yeah, now we've been with TZS since late 2021. We're about to have our birthday next month, or another
Oh.
another for our 4th year. Holy shit, we're old.
It's the worst part. It's cool to celebrate, but also like, wow, we've been doing this a long time. Where did I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit here for TZS. Where did the idea for that name kind of come from?
Oh, that's an interesting story. So, I mean, we all like weird things in terms of map modes a
Hmm.
little bit unconventional. We have our rationale reasons for them, what we think why they're good, right?
Yeah.
Triggerfish is like Camp Triggerfish Zones was one of the ones that we all kind of liked, even though it's super oddball. But it brings a lot to the table when you want to work as a team and how to practice as a team. So I think it has a lot of value from like that point of view.
Yeah.
And we also found that all of us but one, that was our best map mode, or our best zones map win
Hmm.
percentage. You know, I used to have the app with the win
Oh
percent.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Zones Triggerfish, all of us but one had
No
that as our
way.
and so that originally didn't have. I mentioned Pork and Mew. They weren't originally part of that. That was originally it was DRF, who for you might know for like CCA and
Yep.
such. Vapor, who does all that broadcasting stuff. See him around.
Hmm.
Um, Brian, who most people don't know, but he's also the real DRF. Every tournament you might have watched, if you've seen two DRFs, it's likely Brian, but it could also be Mewtwo.
That's so fair.
um, and then we had a substitute, Jason, who that was our original five, and then as we needed more people, we brought on Mewtwo and Pork, and they've been not long after we started though, just with a few months afterwards. So now we've been the seven of us for, like I said, nearing 4 years now.
Mhm. Wow, that's incredible. So that makes sense. If it's your best map mode, makes sense to want to make a team name after it. I'm sure when the Splatoon 3 released and there was no Triggerfish, that was probably heartbreaking for you all. Uh,
Well, we expected it because it was already been in 2 games, and there's no map that's been in 3 games, so we
yeah,
were kind of expected that.
that's
Uh,
fair.
we've contemplated changing the name, but it's just too iconic, so
Yeah.
we've kind of left it. We thought about it a few times. There's a few maps we got. Maybe we go this map, Zone Supremacy, or TC, or we've even talked about even changing the zones part as well,
Hmm.
because we're not a group that is like, we're not one of those like super zone lover teams. It's not
Yeah.
that we hate zones or anything, but it's not like
So it's
we like to
preferred.
spread out
Yeah.
through the different ones. It's we're not even preference to zones per se. It's just that was just a good name. It just rolled
Hmm.
off the tongue to an extent.
Yeah. No, I absolutely that makes sense to me. Um, I mean, yeah, but yeah, that's such an iconic team name, and also just
I almost forgot
it's.
Pepe, by the way. I don't know how I almost.
Oh yeah,
I was
where
I'm like,
did
wait,
how
I
did
almost forgot about
Pepe?
Pepe. We had a Pepe a couple of years later.
Oh, okay, I was say, how did Pepe
Um,
find their way into it?
and they were playing a lot with us with lands, and
Oh,
then
okay.
well, not me because but the West Coast lands, they had brought Pepe a bunch. We're like, you know what? We love Pepe. We all love Pepe. Who doesn't love Pepe? To be real, if you don't
Yeah.
like Pepe, I don't like you. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that live. It's on record right here. If you don't like Pepe, I don't like you. Um, um,
Pepe's the goat. What
but
can you say?
and then so yeah, Pepe we brought in for the land. He was doing a lot with lands, and we're like, we really like playing with Pepe. Let's keep Pepe forever. Um,
You're trapped here now.
yeah, you're stuck here forever, Pepe. We love you. And now Pepe just grabs people up from TZS, and occasionally we need another sub out there. And this destroys everything in the West Coast, and I'm just watching like, good job, guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Cause you're more on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, well, I'm near where Riptide was.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Fair, reasonable.
we the local to Riptide. It's nice. It's right over there. It's right there.
Yeah. You don't gotta travel too far for it.
No, I don't even have to hop on an airplane. It's great. Like, there's no for me to go to an airport to fly to it would be backtracking. Like, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's no I would fly to the same airport that
Just do a circle. Just fly in a loop real
yeah.
quick.
We're just here for a maintenance test.
Yeah, exactly. Little maintenance test of the
So
plane, land back in. So speaking of Riptide, how did you get into TOing in general before we find out how you kind of dwelled into the Riptide land scene? What kind of drew you to TOing in the first place?
Did a little bit of TOing prior to what would be the long term, what became TOing. I
Hmm.
TO'd a little bit in the end of Splatoon 1 with, I mentioned the Apotheosis team with a
Yes.
buddy of mine there. we did a tournament then in Splatoon 1, and it was enjoyable. We didn't continue it. There wasn't that desire to continue it so much, especially because it was near the end of Splatoon 1. And it did well though. I was pretty satisfied with the number, especially for just kind of throwing a tournament out there.
Hmm.
But then the real tournament stuff came later though, with a buddy, Hoenn Hero. I'm
Oh
sure most of you
yes.
guys know if you guys have been around IPL. By the way, admin for Pokemon Showdown. Shout out to that's where we met. Again, Pokemon Showdown.
It all
Told you.
comes back.
It all comes back to Pokemon Showdown. And again, the Splatoon room still existed back then. This is now into Splatoon 2, well into Splatoon 2. We decided to hey, let's run a tournament through the Splatoon room there. We were both off-lit names. It was Casual Splatoon Tourney was the name of the event, because we are both off-lit names, and what So he's like, hey, you have a little bit of experience running tournaments. I have that desire, and to run one as well. Let's run this for the event. And we're like, yeah. I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. So we ran that for months and months. It was like January, I think we did it. I think we only skipped 1 month just because there was a bigger event that ran over our date.
Hmm.
Um, so we're like, oh no, it was a Nintendo tournament. I think it was ran over that date in like August or something, so we skipped it.
Ah, fair.
But then
Yeah.
that tournament turned into Low Ink.
No way.
Yep. That's where Low Ink spawned from again. Pokemon Showdown. If you go and look at some of the old Pokemon Showdown challenges,
Hmm.
I think even some of the early Battle Fives, it references Pokemon Showdown in there because it
Wow.
was ran through Pokemon Showdown, the Splatoon room there.
That's
So there,
incredible.
there used to be some small rewards related to that, like, oh, you'll be in the banner or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, it just it was so yeah. I mean, and that's where Low Ink started, which eventually turns into IPL, and
Yep. Yep.
Showdown is everywhere for Splatoon. You know what?
Yeah,
It's
it takes a little piece with it everywhere it goes.
bring it back, Showdown, please.
Imagine just a little like anniversary resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Hoen's an admin. I'm just gonna have to go like, hey, oh, we gotta do this now. I've said it on a pot. I've said it on the Cactus patch now. Like it's
Yeah, just for fun. Unlock the room, just for fun.
yeah. I mean, it's been gone now since the late Splatoon 2, when the kind of dead era there
Hmm.
before Splatoon 3, and now they didn't bring it back, which I kind of understand because it was always a smaller room.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it come back. But, that's not my call. We need quite a desire, but
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
uh,
I think for just the nostalgia factor, maybe for like a day, just to be fun to
yeah.
like relive using it.
Hey, who doesn't? We can do some sillies on it, right? That's always the
Yeah.
fun.
Just start pretending
Hey,
like you're planning like tournaments for the week or something.
hey, just start battling each other, everything. You have some fun with it. Some
Yeah.
Ranbats. Who doesn't love Ranbats? At like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're in the Splatoon room. Who's awake? I'll do some Ranbats with you. Come on.
Oh man.
Metronome battles. Oops, all RNG. It's just like playing Aerospray,
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's an 8-player Aerospray only turf match. Oh, man. So that's picking your brain a bit how TOing kind of formed for you and just kind of been your way of helping on the scene going forward. What was the point where you started to look to TO an event like Riptide?
Well, I mean, it honestly kind of came naturally and a little bit of luck. I mean, bluntly, a lot of luck.
Hmm.
Um, I obviously was doing a lot with IPL, especially at that time. Heading IPL alongside Hoenn,
Yeah.
and then of course we had like a leadership team and stuff like that. But like the head of heads was me and Hoenn at the
Hmm.
time, and so I was doing a lot. We were doing things like super jump and whatnot, and then at that time, like the EGTV crew was kind of winding down. People like Kbot in particular were kind of stepping away from the scene
Hmm.
to look forward to college and trying to go beyond Splatoon, which is cool. I'm really glad because I've heard a lot of good things for them.
Hmm.
Uh, that's happened since then. So they were kind of like, "Hey, we're trying to step away. we need to get a new crew to come fill in for that. And so KBot kind of saw what we were doing at IPL and and then along with other people, so like Siren, Magic, uh, Rissa, Rays, like all of us were like brought in to kind of take over some of these events, especially LTC and then eventually what would become Riptide was a part of that
Mm-hmm.
because KBot did the first Riptide, right?
Yeah.
KBot along with the EGTV crew was kind of that was their last event that they ran
Okay.
was actually Riptide, Riptide 2021. And so like I said, on their kind of way out, especially into 2022, KBot was like, hey, I want to bring in a new crew, kind of teach them. LTC 2022 was the first event for us that we kind of did stuff. I didn't really get to go in person. Initially, it was planned to, but just things couldn't work out for me to go in person.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned a lot of that behind the scenes stuff, and that's what I needed because I know how to. I mean, at that point, I kind of had run literally dozens upon dozens of events.
Mm-hmm.
Running it in person is different, but it's not incredibly different from an online tournament,
Yeah.
right? But so like learning all that behind the scenes stuff was very, very valuable to me. And I was able to be in on those calls and things like that. So as much as I wasn't in person for LTC 2022, I was I learned a lot and that was a huge basis for what the first event I would run land wise was Riptide 2022. Crazy to go from never running a land to,
To hosting
to
at the time one of
Riptide.
the largest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was the record setter then. I believe it set the record. 22, maybe it was until 23 we took the record. I'd have to go back and check the each record because it was I can't remember if 22 took the record if it was an older one before COVID
Mm-hmm.
that had it. I can't remember anymore without going back and looking at the numbers. Because there were some solid events that happened before COVID. Of course, COVID was a big, kind of threw a lot, and that's kind of what kept, those first events coming back were a little bit smaller, just because it's like people were still very cautious of it.
Yeah.
And it's not that saying that people shouldn't be at least moderately cautious now. I know there are people, but like compared to then, right? It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
And like the
first big event, you
heyday
know
of
what I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, People were still learning what to do, what not to do,
Yeah.
to an extent, especially in a big event like that. But it was super fun. I very much enjoyed it. I was, and I still enjoy it now. Uh, so that's how it happened, right? It was just
Yeah.
like I said, sheer luck that I was recognized by KBot and those folks. Like, hey, you have potential to run this. So, and it just running the events that I ran was enough to I think show that to them, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially considering that opportunity really just kind of opened itself right away for you. So it's really cool that you were able to hop on that opportunity pretty much right away. And I feel like a lot of people, there could be some hesitation, but it's really nice to see like, you had the resources available, you saw the opportunity for yourself, and others saw it in you. And, here you are now, 2 or 3, 4 years later, still running. What is kind of the major of the year that people look most forward to?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome that people. I'm just gonna say it's awesome that people look forward to it so much. We put a lot of effort into it, but without those people, the people make the event.
Mhm.
We're just here for the ride.
Yeah.
We do our best to give the best event, but without the people, that's everything. The
Mhm.
folks that go are the that really make the event. So seeing so many people excited about it always gets me excited for it and gets me amped to really do the best I can at the event. So I always love seeing people. Oh, we're so excited for Riptide. It's like 9 months out.
Yeah.
The signups aren't even open yet. People are like, I want Riptide. I want Riptide. I want Riptide.
Yup,
And it's
yup.
like, so do I.
It's literally that it's the vacation set, like knowing it's gonna happen every year. It's like, yep, I'm planning for it. It's locked. The time off has been requested. Like this is a go.
So it really is just straight up cool how many people look forward to Riptide. It means so much to
Mhm.
me and Rays and all of the fucks or the all the ugh, can't talk today. All the folks on production,
Mhm.
they put a lot of effort into, but knowing that people look forward to it and love the work they put out is just so huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, like, um, considering that you've been hosting the events for the past couple of years, have you ever wanted to play in a Riptide?
I technically have. I played in the first
Oh,
year.
okay.
I played in that first year, like I said, when I was not part of the crew running it.
Yeah, yeah, right away, yeah.
So I played in it. That was kind of the year that I had kind of stopped really playing a lot. So it was just kind of more of a for fun crew.
Yeah.
Um, than anything. It wasn't anything super serious. Of course, we were trying to win, but also at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, we kind of just had some fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so like, cause that was the year I hard focused IPL stuff, and like I was not on a team. It was after Sigma had disbanded, because it's disbanded into 2020, and then there wasn't anything that really worked out for me competitively, and I just wasn't. I didn't have the. I don't want to say I didn't have the desire,
Mhm.
but I more wanted to focus on TOing at that time. So in 2021, it was just like, oops, all TOing until literally the end of the year, which I talked about TCS for me at the end of 2021,
Yeah.
October 2021, early November. It was technically, I think we created the group chat on the 29th of October. So basically November of 2021.
Mhm.
Um, so like that year, I was so out of practice. I was just like, let's just have some fun with it.
Yeah.
It's too close to me for me not to go.
Mhm.
Uh, and technically, I'd only been to two lands before that. Actually, I went to a local, um, in 2019, late 2019,
Mhm.
and then to G7 in 2020.
Oh,
And those are the
nice.
only lands I had been to. So I've only played at 3 lands actually.
Wow. Because also
I've
the
TO'd
question
more
I
lands than I
had was
played.
like, were there other events you've ever like attended? So it's cool that I mean, G7's pretty cool though to travel all the way for. That must have been fun.
Oh, that was super, super. Uh, and that one I played with one of the same people I did at Riptide 21, Luna, and then played with Leaf and Froggy, which most people would know Froggy because Froggy's been around as well for a long time. They went to Riptide this year. They were part of the team Fast. The F and Fast stands for Froggy. um, and they do Sky Shoals out there in Chicago,
Yes,
so most
yeah.
people would recognize that name at least a little bit. Maybe Froppy, I guess. I always say Froggy, but because we know him as Froggy.
Yeah.
Froppy is their official, username. But so uh totally lost my train of thought, but we'll figure it out eventually. So yeah, we were at that group with G7. See, I figured it out, Cactus. It comes to me eventually. I'm a bit
Yeah.
old, but it's
It's all right. It's also like just like the I always call it the yapper in me, where it's like I'll just be talking with someone for too long and be like, wait, what was the original question?
yeah, G7 was super cool. Like it was super super fun. It was a great first experience as a LAN. Uh, we had a decent run there as well. Didn't work out. We it was our we didn't have a crazy run, but I think we beat our seed and everything.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I found out later that we beat uh Brian. That was on TCS
Oh
in G7. We
wow.
didn't know him at the time, and because they were on UCSD at the time. I think DRF was a spectator too. So, but he was like going for them. So funny enough, I kind of beat my own team back then. We just didn't know each other then, which is absolutely hilarious. And they it was a super fun event. And I it just showed how much those big lands are just so cool to go into person.
Mhm.
They're a completely different bugger from online tournaments.
Oh yeah.
Like, and that includes not just Splatoon, by the way, Splatoon especially, but like even like Smash during like their grand finals is just it's just so cool. It's just if you've ever been to like a sports game,
Mhm.
whether that be baseball or football or whatever, right? It's more like that for those who've never been to a LAN. It is just loud. It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure if you guys watched any of Riptide or any other, especially big LANs,
Mhm.
you can start hearing it coming through the microphones on the commentators sometimes.
Yeah.
And those are usually expensive microphones that filter out a lot of background noise. And the team is trying to keep it somewhat to a minimum through those microphones. They may have ones in the audience to kind of pick up that noise,
Mhm.
but like through the commentator, when it's coming through the commentator's mic, how loud it is because they're behind usually a wall or something
Yeah,
that blocks
yeah.
some of that sound. It's just crazy. It's awesome. It's one of the coolest things in esports is just straight up being there during especially a grand finals. But Splatoon, they're fantastic for coming out and on non grand finals or near grand final sets. They'll come out to just some day one stuff and get real loud. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly like I think that was my favorite thing that I noticed specifically this year's Riptide. It's just the pure excitement and energy a lot of players brought just to day one groups. It's like I know it's like even with like the round one groups, it's like it's your first set of the day, and then you're that energized, you're that excited, you're trying to win your sets. It's like, man, like it doesn't get better than this.
Oh, it's so cool just hearing everybody shout. And we'll get to it later, I'm sure, a little bit.
Hmm.
But in the new room and everything, the acoustics in there are even better than our old one. Oh my gosh. It was awesome. It was just so cool hearing it. And occasionally you have to go back behind the production, and I can just hear how loud it is back there because that's where everyone's focused, right? Is
Yeah.
towards the screen, which production behind the the screen there for anyone that like saw pictures of Riptide that weren't there. Production is right behind the air wall there, the curtain.
Hmm.
And so all that noise funnels right back into there a little bit. And it's just so cool. It feels like you're at a sports event. Genuinely, it's so, so awesome. Uh, that's the only thing I can really, really feel like I can compare it to is just a super hyped crowd at a sporting event.
Yeah.
And even just basic plays, people get that loud. Like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
I
They're like,
think
"Oh, you get a pick?" And
yes.
it's just when they get something insane pop off, holy you can feel the airwaves pressuring down on you, which is just so cool. Like,
Yeah,
one of the coolest.
it's amazing too when you're like once you get towards the end of the events, like you're seeing like the semis, the losers runs, that everything that's being streamed. Like like it's fun when everyone knows what's happening or like what's like respective of like good skill because someone will just be mechanically like it will be like the spec cam will show just them mechanically diffing another player and they'll just get loud and like frantic and it's like that feels so good and it feels incredible to just be in that crowd or just witnessing like the crowd's like, reaction to stuff like that.
Oh, it's so cool. It's literally it is one of my favorite parts of Riptide is genuine because people are having a good time, right?
Yeah.
They're just having an amazing time all in the front. And we didn't have enough seats this year. Genuinely, we didn't have enough seats and we thought we had too much and we didn't have enough, which is just insane because there's so much space like that we filled up with chairs. It was more than previous years.
Hmm.
Um and we were like, "Oh, I guess we got to fill out more." Apparently, we're gonna have to fill out the whole room as much as we can, left or right. Just leaving fire lanes, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, gonna have to get a larger projector screen.
I was gonna say we're just gonna need bleachers, so like I know like physical bleachers. We'll just make it like a sport, like a true sporting event. Get the mobile bleachers in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just wheel them out, extend them up, just so everyone can fit in.
That would be insane if we have to do that. Like, sorry, Kalahari, your chairs are just not enough. We need more.
Yeah, we need larger space. We need to fit more people. Just trust us. It's a worthy investment.
We'll
So
we nobody can harm your furniture. Not that anyone ever has, to be clear.
yeah,
Nobody can harm the furniture if they're not being used. So
yeah, exactly, right?
no hungry box moment.
Yeah,
If you know, you know.
yeah, no,
Don't do
exactly.
that. That will get you in trouble. Never do
Yeah.
that. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Let's yeah. Let's keep respectful to the furniture. Yeah. So with Riptide growing each year, and like we were just discussing, like you just said, like there were not just enough places for people to sit at this year's Riptide. How does that feel knowing that this has become kind of like the major that people want to go to um every year? Like just continuously growing, continuously breaking that, sign up milestone. Like, how does that feel as like a TO to just be having such a massively continuously successful event?
It means so much to me. It genuinely just means so much to me, and not just myself, but the folks on production that are putting out the work. Ray's obviously my other head TO. It means a lot to him because he puts in a ton of work for the event. But also, like, it means a lot that it showed for those that had faith in Splatoon, that were like, hey, you know what? We want to have Splatoon at Riptide, and we believe in it. People like Aaron, right? He was a big believer of Splatoon. It's
Hmm.
like, hey, your your willingness to bring us out every year, it's paying off, right?
Yeah.
Splatoon is like, hey, we are growing, we're getting bigger, we're able to have these events, and not just this event, right? For a few years prior, especially prior to this year, with LTC, right? We were constantly having 2 majors a year,
Yeah.
and it's like we were struggling to have, especially prior to COVID, we'd have like one big event a year. You'd have your G7s, right? And then, you'd have smaller events, and those are very critical still to this day. But there was never 2 majors a year. It was pretty much 1 major a year, everyone out to it. We're
Hmm.
showing that we can support multiple majors a year, which is just crazy to think about to me. As someone who's watched this community go from baby to growing up, I still growing, and I hope it continues to grow, right,
Yeah.
as the years go on. But it just means so much to us seeing all those people come out, and especially seeing people that come out to events every year. It just means so much. Like, hey, we're doing something right, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Something's going
um,
well. It's just it keeps
uh,
going. So.
we're not perfect, but we try to make the event as best possible, and it seems that those people are enjoying the event at least well enough to keep coming back every year, because it's not exactly a cheap endeavor to come out. Obviously, Ohio is significantly cheaper than most places for
Hmm.
most people. It is Ohio is significantly cheaper than, West Coast or East Coast, in those major cities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's harder to get to. More people have to travel through more expensive routes like flying. So seeing people consistently come out to these events, willing to put lots of money where their mouth is to, so to say, to kind of come out to the event, and they're
Hmm.
consistently coming out because they enjoy it, means just absolutely so much. People like Bronze goes to every event. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
even outside of Riptide, there's plenty of other ones that have come out to multiple Riptides, if not to every single Riptide. It just means so much to me. Those people especially, like, because it means that, like, hey, we're doing something right, and that's the best signal to me. That's we're doing something right. Is if people are coming back,
Hmm.
and and the numbers, the no matter if we were beating records or not, we're gonna put the best thing out there. But it just shows that, hey, the effort we're putting, and it means a lot, across the board. Again, whether that's us at the TO side, the production side, or behind the scenes, something's going right, and I'm glad you guys are really enjoying it. It means so much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I could say it personally as well as someone who's been going to Riptide. I think I want to say since 2022, which was the
Mhm.
first Riptide I ever went to. Like it's been amazing as like a player slash spectator perspective, just seeing it constantly grow as well. And like it's always been an incredible and surreal experience, and being like in those on those setups and just in those crowds, and seeing like, wow, like this is where like the scene's at when it comes to these events. It's truly beautiful, and like, flowers to where it's deserved. Like, you guys on the staffing side always do such a wonderful job, also just making sure things run smoothly too, all at all times. Like, it's very I imagine scary, like, having to reach certain time limits, and especially because like you're only given so
Yeah.
much time in the day, especially at the towards the end of the night. So it's really great where a lot of times, like, yeah, I'm not as someone who I am experienced, but seeing those who maybe aren't experienced, how quick as well as like main TOs or volunteers are quick to be able to help. It's always incredible.
Glad to hear it. That's always a good. It's always good to hear that sort of feedback. So, uh, and one more thing, kind of before we switch off of how becoming the bigger thing.
Yeah,
For those that don't know, that've never been to Riptide, or maybe didn't come to Riptide this year, but have been there previous years, we were in a different room. The growth is so big that we had to move to a bigger room this year.
yeah, we could
If you look
actually
up Battle,
talk about that a little bit. What
Oh
was that
yeah.
like getting to have to be like, wow, we need the larger room?
We talked about it last year. I'm gonna be honest. We talked about it internally last year, and we're like, okay, we know this was before we got to ended up being over. We got to 461 was our number last year.
Okay.
We were like, oh, we're gonna be pushing maybe 400 as we kind of we're going through. We're like 350, 400. You know, we're like, okay, wow, this is getting because we were just shy of 300 the year before.
Hmm.
We are at 296 in 2023, and so we're like, oh, you know what? I think we're gonna have a little bit of growth. We're thinking 300, 350, 400, and then sign up numbers were kind of signaling that so early on. We're like,
Hmm.
maybe we need to change the room, but we don't. But you know what? We're at least kind of we'll think about it. And we didn't end up doing it, and then we end up with 461. We were pushing fire code.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, we didn't quite break it, so we were okay legally.
Yeah.
Once we also consider spectators and such too, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to consider that you can't just consider, hey, we have this many attendees. No, that number doesn't include spectators. You know,
Yeah.
some people bring out their parents because they're younger. Some people just come. I think you said you were a spectator one of the years. I believe you were, right?
Yeah. The first year,
Uh,
2022. Yeah.
so like though when we say 461 or 481 like we had this year, it's like we aren't including those spectators because we
Hmm.
can't. Some of them like you, we can go, oh, you're probably going to be more at Splatoon than anywhere else, but you might still dabble elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or some of the spectators for Smash may come in and say, hey, what's Splatoon like?
Hmm.
So we have to look at the number and go, yeah, we're pushing it. So this year from the get go, we're like, okay, it would be pretty insane for us not to at least be close to our number. We're gonna commit right off the bat to this bigger room change, and thanks to the higher ups like in Riptide, it was able to be done. Because he had a chance to kind of think about it from the beginning. Like the off season and everything, instead of just like in the middle of the year, like oh major change at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we just kind of had this small room. It's called the River Rooms. You can look up the diagram for the Kalahari actually online. Um, we were in the river rooms. We had all three of the river rooms. And funny enough, if you look it up on the Kalahari website, if you go and tour the rooms, I found out this year they
Hmm.
had it from 2022, literally the Thursday or sorry, the Tuesday before the event. If you actually go and look, it's actually prepping for Riptide, which is
No
super cool, by the way.
way.
Yeah, at least last I knew, unless they changed it in the last. Only the one part of the river rooms, they had an event Thursday night. We couldn't get in there and do it work right away.
Hmm.
So you can see that event being prepped, and then you can see all the chairs in the middle because you know what I'm talking about, Cactus in that middle area,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
you can see the stage piece there for 2022, which is
No
just super cool, by
way.
the way, that it's still in there. Like I said, last I knew, because like I said, you can walk through and look at the room. So like those that want to like eventually maybe purchase the room for an event. That's their promotional stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, side note. So we're in the river rooms this year. We are in the second biggest, which that is the third biggest area if you open it all up. Um,
Hmm.
we had to move to the second biggest area just because we had to go bigger, and so they put like a lot of the friendlies and such in that area, and now we were literally front row because that is the first ballroom as you enter. It's right across from the check-in. It's boom, Splatoon, and Mario Kart was in there this year too. It's just amazing that we had to go to this massive room because we couldn't have we were getting into potentially being unsafe, which is just because there's so many people,
Yeah.
and it just couldn't even happen with all the people without all the people coming out there. It just so awesome, and I love it this year. I felt like a lot of people like to circle around matches, and I felt like we could have two matches that were really watched and not be like running over each other.
Yeah.
Uh, Everybody can enjoy it or be completely in the walkway. There was still at least somewhere you could move to not to get past it if you weren't interested in those matches and maybe wanted to watch stream or your next match was ready in a different station. So
Hmm.
I think that was I think the change went really, really well. It just so much more just the amount of space we needed. And like I said, with the chairs and such before, we utilize that space. It's just crazy to me. Like we tore down stations for day 3 to add more seating, and it wasn't enough. It's just awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's so funny because like it's really one of those like bad things that is actually really good. Like
Oh, it's a good problem, as I like to say.
yeah, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's a good problem to have. And so considering like how much space we took up this year and how large just Splatoon is just slowly becoming now, like, is there ever we're probably years away from it, but do you feel there's ever that going to be that fear of like we'll be competing for that main room space if needed, like the room they use for like Smash and everything, if we get too large?
Fear is not the right word, Cactus. That's the goal, Cactus. That's the goal. We want to make this the event.
Yeah.
Make everybody come out. No, it's a joking goal. You know, like I said, like
Yeah, no,
if it happens,
absolutely.
that would be amazing. But Splatoon has a long way to go before that's a little bit more realistic. Um, but it doesn't mean we might have to consider eventually moving some things to different rooms
Mhm.
or changing things up to accommodate that, which I think we're quite a ways away from that because that the ballroom we're in this year, the Kalahari ballroom
Mhm.
was it has quite a lot of space to grow.
Yeah, yeah.
We're like that new hermit shell in the new shell, right? We got plenty of space to grow before we have to change shells again.
Yeah.
Um, that would be super cool. And if we're talking about that, even talking about that, just utterly insane. That means we probably have close to 1,000 people going, I would
Mhm.
guess at that point.
Yeah.
Um, before that has to even be considered, because things like Ultimate, they have 1,000 people go, right? They had 1,000. I think they hit their cap this year at 1,024, something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, and previous years, some years are bigger and smaller. I think this year was a little down for Smash, but in previous years they were a little bit bigger. Um, we're the third largest game right now in it uh at Riptide.
Mhm.
We got beat up by Melee in the last day by just
Oh,
a handful of people.
no way.
We were ahead of them literally every single day until the last day, the last few hours.
That's
um,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, so we almost were the second largest game in at Riptide. Uh, just like I said, just got beat out by Melee at the end. It is
Mhm.
just incredible that we're even flirting with that consistently. Uh, Fighting for that second place, and like I said, I hope we can go in that first place. It's a little ways out. If it has to happen, obviously we'll have that conversation internally when it has to happen,
Yeah.
and we'll be adjusting things as we need to. Even if say Sploon has to be partly in the river rooms and partly in the other one, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Aaron will figure it out with
Yeah.
us because he's awesome and he's loving to see the growth of Splatoon. He loves watching coming in and seeing how Splatoon is and seeing like the amount of people enjoying it, that to him is just so awesome seeing people enjoy and having a good time at Riptide
Mhm.
alongside of us, of course, obviously raising up. Love seeing people having a great time. But if that happens, we'll figure it out, Cactus. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. And things are going really well for Splatoon. If we're competing for that at Riptide, things have gone really, really well for Splatoon.
Mhm.
And that's that would be a dream, right? That would be a dream come true that we're for that. Not just like for like internally, that'd be just for funsies for us, but also from like I want to see Splatoon do that well that that we're competing with those well established esports that have years on us like Smash, right? They have literally decades on us
Yeah. No,
from our
exactly.
series, right?
Yeah, I mean they've had so much time to grow to the size they're at, so knowing that we'd be able to quickly approach that would well, slowly approaching that, but like get to a point where we're competing for the number of signups and that kind of space requirement would be incredible. It'd be amazing to see that, we're getting to a point where like the eyes are going to be a lot more on us because of that.
And you have to think about it with Splatoon 2, Splatoon as a whole, Splatoon 2, not Splatoon like the
Yeah.
number 2 in this case. Um, I like Splatoon 2, but that's a story for another time. That's not for today, Ken, right?
Yeah.
Splatoon, right? It's so much harder to do that on a whim too, right? It's a game that you have to have teams, right? Something like Smash, other than if you do doubles or like um squad strikes, but the majority of Smash is just one on one. So it's so much easier on a whim. Hey, August, the day before, you know what? I can afford to go to Riptide this year. or hey, I'm a local, I can make the time off for work or something like that and just come up. Well,
Yeah.
like Splatoon, it's like, oh, I have to have a team of 4
Yeah. Yep.
planned. So you usually Splatoon is usually one of the better uh uh events that sign up a little bit on the earlier side. There's still plenty of people that sign up late, but you still have to make plans usually well before the deadline of if you're coming or not, because you want to have a group of 4. It's hard just to say, "Ah, can I'm just coming, put me on whatever team." You know, we
Mhm.
do try to do that for a few people, but in general, people make their own teams. You know, Smash, it doesn't matter. You could come literally the last minute as long as there's a slot open for you,
Yeah.
and, on a whim, whatever. Like, Splatoon doesn't have that, so, like, it's even more incredible the numbers we hit when you consider that as part of the factor of how hard it is to just straight up prepare. You have to prepare for it.
Mhm.
It's not just on a whim. There's very few people on a whim Splatoon unless they're coming as a spectator or something, which then they don't even count towards that attendee number,
Yeah.
for the event. Um, you know, we were talking a little bit about that beforehand. One of your buddies here showed up late, decided late, tell us, but you know who you are.
Yeah, it's those late signups that always get a little scary at the at the end.
I'm glad we don't have to have that. We don't have to have any last minute. We rarely have to have any last minute changes to Splatoon. We
Mhm.
pretty much have everything locked down by early August, other than tweaking things.
Yeah.
Because this year, for example, we had I think it was like 78 in the last month, which is still a significant number, right?
Yeah.
But like Smash had like 60% of their signups in like
Yeah, oh my
the last like
gosh.
week, like 2 weeks of. It's insane. They just the amount of numbers. They just go.
Yeah.
Wait,
It
it's not
just
quite
launches up.
60%, but I have to go back and look at the numbers. Now I'm just curious what the percentage. I would have to ask Aaron. Or I think they made a graphic about melees beating Splatoon. Um, like I said, they went through every day, and you could see the progression. It was just getting further and further behind until like the end. It was
Yeah.
like, uh, so it's just one of those things that, yeah, like I said, just when you consider the fact that you have to plan, it's just insane. It's insane the numbers we do when you have 111 teams this year come out. Then I think we only had like one form, like hard last minute that wasn't like we manually put them together.
Yeah.
We had a group of Smash players that came together. Literally, we're like, I think we're just gonna put them together with other people. They literally at the buzzer got a fourth.
Wow.
They it was like we were like trying to figure out what we were gonna do with that team because we try to mush together everybody that
Mhm.
isn't on a team at that point.
Yeah.
That doesn't explicitly tell us, hey, we don't want to be put on a team for whatever reason. And like I said, we were like, ah, well, because there was always a gamble to Smash teams, like if they'll end up going or not, because some of them just kind of sign up on a whim, and then it just maybe they decided they want to go to the water parks, they don't end up showing up or something like that. But a good chunk of the time they show up. I think that one they had an issue, so they did end up having to not finish DNF on that one. But they showed up, they put their team together. I was like, I was gonna feel bad whoever we put on them if they were to show up, the only one to show up.
Yeah, no,
But no,
exactly.
they got their own team together, which was pretty cool because sometimes they don't, and I feel bad for whoever they team with because I never know if they're gonna show or not until
Yeah.
the event happens. Like I said, they usually do though, so that's at least.
Yeah, no, that's always good. And yeah, especially like it's also always really nice too. Is like last minute signups because, like you said, could be could be pretty scary overall for them because if they show or not, and then if they probably also if they understand like the Switch scenario, like did they bring their actual
Yeah.
Switch ones and not their Switch twos?
That happened to a handful of people this year. I think I was worried going to the event it was going to be significantly more. I'll be
Hmm.
honest. Um, because it felt like even into August there was plenty of people being surprised by that, which that was definitely probably the going into the event. The thing that worried me the most
Yeah.
is how many people are going to go, "Oh crap, I did bring a Switch One. I didn't know." I think we only had a handful of people. Um, and most of them were able to work with friends and figure that out.
Nice.
A couple people had some Switch One issues, but they're kind of getting old, so
Yeah.
that wasn't any of their faults, right? That oh yeah, the USB-C port's kind of not working very well anymore,
Yeah.
or um, oh you have a spicy pillow. Oh,
Yeah.
for those that don't know, that's battery starting to expand because a
Yeah, it's just for
couple of
it
those. I'm like,
yeah.
that's not great.
Yeah. Showing its age. It's showing its age.
Some people have the 2017 ones, and some of them have taken them to a lot of places, right? They just get dirt and
Mhm.
debris
Yeah.
in those ports because 'cause they're not well covered. There's not a cover or anything built into them. So unless you have something that you get as from a third party, because I don't think Nintendo has anything that covers
Mhm.
that I know of case wise. I'm sure there probably is,
Yeah, probably by,
but
like, a third party
unless you
company.
buy an accessory of some kind, whether that be from Nintendo or not, that's not covered. That port gets all sorts of junk in there. The USB-C ports are pretty good. They're pretty hardy, but when you do it for almost a decade,
Yeah.
bring them around, they get pretty dirty.
No, exactly. They're gonna just they're gonna have that wear and tear over time, and it makes sense for it, except for with how much it's got to get used. I mean, who knows what the within the next year will bring with the Switch 2s and the usage for them for land, but they definitely the Switch ones are starting to slowly go in these next year or so.
Yeah, a lot of events it just wasn't possible to do Switch 2s on a lot of events. I know
Yeah.
there's plenty of them. There's a handful that are able to work with them already, which
Hmm.
is super cool. By the way, for those locals and regionals that are able to do that, super cool. Riptide just wasn't feasible
No, yeah.
in that short time span for us to accommodate that. And we didn't know we a lot of me and Ray's didn't even get our hands on one until really recently.
Hmm.
Uh, we had heard a lot of good things in testing from other events, but even then, if you actually consider what we would need to run both, we would need to double our docks. We'd have to double our power output.
Yeah.
The only thing we wouldn't have to double is audio. Everything
Yeah.
else would have to be doubled
Wow.
on the table. And if you see all the tables, they're already pretty full.
Yeah. Yeah, the pushing the space limit of what those tables can handle.
It's just a lot of equipment logistically from the folks around. So, well, that's something we will talk about going into the next year.
Yeah.
But that's that wasn't even really on the table this year. It was looked into, but it wasn't like I don't want to say it wasn't seriously looked into because it was seriously looked into, but it wasn't realistically looked into
Hmm.
unless
Yeah.
things were just magically rolled right into our hands. Like, oh, yeah, we can support this,
Yeah.
and we didn't know how people were gonna buy them, right? We didn't know, hey, if we switched to it only 100 people switch from Splatoon, you know?
Yeah. No,
There were
exactly.
just so many question marks. But we'll have over a year now. Once, assuming everything goes well, we have 26 coming in next year. We'll have a whole year to figure that out and what we want to do instead of just here's a few months.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. So, what have been some of your favorite memories and moments helping TO Riptide through the years?
that's a hard question, Cactus. Not because there isn't memory, because there's so many.
Yeah,
Um,
there's too many.
that man, you're killing me with that one.
I'm
No,
picking your
I'm
brain a bit
kidding.
with it. Or how about what are some the most that like jump out to you that you just when you think about it
Yes.
you love it.
I just saw every Riptide flash before my eyes, Cactus. That's what I mean. It's so
Yep.
many and great things. I mean, I think the first one is just straight up s- starting Riptide 2022, right?
Yeah.
Being able to say, "Hey, we did it. We're able to do this event." Right, Raze and I, alongside again the people in production, and then of course the people that help run Riptide, just like me being a part of that, being able to start it, it's just a memory there, right? Going through the megaphone. Actually, I lied. There wasn't a megaphone that year because Amazon screwed me, but that's a story for another time. So shouting, hey, we need. Oh no, we used K-bots that year. It was 23. We didn't have it because of.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
anyway, still shouting it and being like, "Welcome to Riptide 2022"
Yeah.
is awesome. Uh, Um, seeing people excited on stage is always that. The biggest one that I have, of course, is always I always, still watch my team a little bit. I don't get a lot of time to do it, but on day 3 especially is when we can kind of things kind of I don't want to say run themselves completely, but in general, kind of people know what they're doing. They kind of run themselves.
Yeah.
We have to press a few buttons, occasionally fix a few problems, but when it comes to top 32 or I think we had top 16 in previous years. The people know what they're doing by then, so they know how to get in the switch, get in lobby, blah blah blah. They know how to half fix some of their technical issues. You know what I mean? So they kind of people know what they're doing. Um, and a lot of them have gone to multiple lands, so that including multiple Riptides at this point.
Mhm.
And so they know what they're doing. But so I get a little bit of chance to kind of watch some of the different sets a little bit more. So always watching TZS because it's my team.
Yeah.
Watching them, I remember them in 20 last year, right? I got to watch. They had two great sets versus Orca Ballesta.
Oh,
Correct.
yes. I literally
I
commentated
might be
one of them.
pronouncing. Yes. So the one that was on stream,
Yep.
and then on Friday they played right in front of the TO desk, and it was another amazing set. I wish that one was on stream. It was another one that was really close and just super cool. And then so I remember that with the TZS. I come running down the lane to the left, like, yeah, let's go. Like, give them a little fist bump. I probably shouldn't do. Bad example, Kraken. I ain't gonna lie. Um, and then they actually got a really cool picture that I think it's our team banner on Twitter. It might not be. I might be lying to you right now
It's
on
okay.
uh but one of our favorite pictures of all time is it's not our banner. Maybe it's Blue Sky banner. I swear I remember. I thought at least it was temporarily our banner. It might
Mhm.
not be anymore. Or obviously I know it's not anymore because I just searched it right now on the fly here. Um, but one of our favorite pictures is Tori took it. Blue
Oh,
Tori,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
hero story. And it's from behind it, and it goes actually a picture out into the crowd. And you have so you I'm not a part of that picture because I wasn't a part of the team, but I know that that's a big memory for them. But I remember I was a part of it leading up to what that picture would be.
Mhm.
And you see the four of them are kind of holding each other's shoulders together, and it's a nice picture.
Nice.
After that set, and like I said, that was one of that comes to my mind right away. Is just like excited for my own team because even though we're TOing, we excited for the event. We get excited too. We cheer. We get loud. That's part of why we lose our voices, not just because we're yelling at on the megaphone. We're cheering and such,
Yeah.
along with you all in the crowd. Hearing all the chants and things, they're just insanely cool. And all of those things are some of my favorite memories, genuinely.
Mhm.
And and then of course alongside of that, just knowing people are having a good time, people saying, "Hey, you know what? I had a great time here." Those always are meaningful ones that come to my head right away. Alongside of those other like just fun ones that are fun in the moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. It's always just so enjoyable to. It's also really nice to hear that there are times where, as TOs, you're able to enjoy the event besides just having to staff it, because I feel like that when an event like this that's so large, um I guess I'm the one, like the 1% that thinks about it, but like I always wonder, I'm like, do the TOs get a chance to enjoy the event themselves? Like, is there ever a day they get the opportunity? So it's really nice to hear that there are chances you guys get to just kind of pause and just allow yourselves to actually like enjoy what's happening, what you're able to put on.
It doesn't happen a lot. Like I said, it's mostly day threes just because, like I said, the event's kind of running itself at that point,
Yeah,
other
yeah.
than small things that we have to fix occasionally. Or like, oh, like this year we had stations on Start TG. Hey, okay, you're going to that station. Okay, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like, punching a score every once in a while. Uh, Sundays are the easy day. A lot of times it ends up being at like 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning Monopoly. If you know, you know. Uh,
3 Monopoly
like
is
it's
insane.
not the greatest thing for our health. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But as much as we push, hey, you should be healthy. Don't forget to eat. Don't forget to sleep.
Yeah.
That's our only like free time is like in the morning. Because I mean, we go back and after the event for the night is done, we usually are still doing stuff for a couple more hours afterward. We have to go. On the early days, we have to go lock in everything. Alongside of that, make sure there's no errors. Uh, Check for conflicts, right? Things
Mm-hmm.
like our volunteers or our commentators. Luckily, Toasty kind of handles a lot of the commentary side, but
Mm-hmm.
for the volunteers, we got to kind of look that over. Hey, what happens? What do we need to change? Uh, Start checking a couple other small things that just kind of pop up. Just nothing you can really prepare for. Hey, we need to go talk about this. It's midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 in the morning. If you go look at the Riptide announcements, you can see me announcing things at 2 in the morning. And that's why. It's because we just finished everything for the night. Everything's locked in, ready to go for the
Yep.
next day. So basically, hey, when you all wake up, which there's a portion of you that are awake, crazy like us,
Yep.
trying to enjoy the event. I understand. So that's the time that we have that we go hang out with our friends for a couple hours before we go and sleep at 4 in the morning. That Monopoly night did not sleep. It was it was I was in the venue at 5 in the morning afterward, or sorry, it was 6 or 7. I went and took a shower, changed, and then just went right back to the venue. It was 6 in the morning, just doing Start GG stuff at
Yep.
the table. The lights turned out in the Kalahari room because I sat there so long without moving. The lights auto turned off.
Oh my
And me just
gosh.
moving my fingers behind the screen, it didn't really register.
Yeah, no, yeah, it doesn't that doesn't recognize that you're actually there.
Yeah, called Hohen when he woke up at 7 or 8 that day. We were just BSing. It's just me and him him on the through Discord, and me just chatting through and just sitting there in the dark, yeah, knock out some Star GD stuff here in the morning because I didn't do it last night. Oh, what matches do we want to stream today? This one's a good one. This one's a good one. We usually leave in the last few years. Toasty kind of picks a lot of our matches.
Hmm.
We occasionally go hey, this one's really good, but still with that, I'll hey, maybe a couple suggestions over to him. Looking over all our stuff. Oh, that's our this setup was giving us a little problem. Let me go fix that real quick. It's 7 in the morning. 6 in the morning.
Bright and early,
It's
no
it's fun.
sleep,
It's a lot
fixing
of fun.
whatever's gotta get fixed.
Hey, we gotta have a good day the next day, right? I think
Yeah,
that's want to have a
absolutely.
good one. And a lot of caffeine. Mountain Dew, sponsor me.
Oh, could you imagine
You're the
one
reason
day?
Riptide exists.
That's the dream. I have just have an energy drink sponsor Splatoon event. So you're always having it ready to go.
I do think we had one in previous years. I believe there was a sponsor for Riptide 23 or 24 that was an
Mhm.
energy drink. I won't say just in case I'm wrong.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
But
but
it wasn't Splatoon in particular. It was
just in
Riptide as a
general,
whole.
yeah. Bring that back.
Um,
We need some energy drinks. Those like what did they have at I forget what event I went to, but they had I think it was Red Bull. They had Red Bull fridges all around.
yeah. I think Red Bull that was the one I was thinking of for Riptide for reference.
Hmm.
I think it was 23 or 24, maybe both years they were sponsored for Riptide. They just sponsored a small LAN for Splatoon. I don't remember which one it was. But I remember hearing that they were a sponsor for an event. I can't recall which one it was. I want to say it's one of the New York ones, maybe, but I might be
Um,
wrong.
no, I don't think. How about this? I mean,
Maybe
unless
Booyah
they.
Bay.
It might have been Booyah Bay, because I remember I think hearing that they had to make sure the fridge was always looking stock because so many people would just grab from it.
Yeah,
Because I know I
yeah.
went
That
to
there's always asterisks on how they have to have that.
yeah. But I mean, which is cool though. It's awesome that they'll be yeah, hey, we appreciate y'all taking it, but at least take it from the back and leave the front one.
Yeah, it's gotta look good. It gotta look like it's fully stocked. And it's only got 5 in it because they've been handing them out. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, so you've been doing Riptide since 2021. What has been some of the craziest things you've ever seen or experienced at these events?
I TO'd it since 22
Oh,
and player in
2010.
21
Okay,
for
okay.
reference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
21 was the first year for Riptide.
Yes. Okay.
So just making sure.
Yep.
Um,
So just in general, so then I'd say being at these
Crazy.
events then.
That's a tough one.
Something that you
Something
experience
I
that
probably
that's always
got
sticking with you.
um, some stuff, like I said, some stuff I shouldn't say on stream, so we
Fair,
won't go into
fair.
those. Okay. Um, I think some of the coolest things is just some of the I love like the cosplays that people do. I
Hmm.
love like the dedication that some people have to certain things. Um like for example, this year we had a team that was like that Maid was in their name. I can't remember the full name. Made for this or something like that.
Oh yeah, they all wore like the maid outfits,
The
right?
maid outfits, yeah, dedicated to that, it's just so cool. It's not like crazy things per se, but it's just I think those are super exciting. And just like the dedication is kind of crazy. Plenty of people that do crazy cosplays and such that we've seen. Um, some people with crazy pop-offs. Some acceptable, some are not.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, like those sort of things are super cool and they're super crazy. Um, the crazy thing is just the support still. That
Hmm.
to me is still the craziest thing is the amount of support. But I think I think I've dabbled on that a lot already, so I'll try not to dabble on it too much. But it does mean a lot, and it's just super cool seeing all of that. That's the craziest thing to me. Again, still seeing people 9 months out from the event, or right now, like when's the next Riptide? I'm ready for Riptide.
Yeah.
Bronze made a joke. If you don't get bronze humor, you might think of it as being rude, but it's like,
Hmm.
man, the Riptide TO staff are so bad. Why can't they run it every
Oh
weekend?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Meaning,
I
like,
love
he
the
wants it to
the
continue every week, but
bronze
if you read it,
posts.
you might be like, "Man, bronze is rude. What the hell?" So, like, seeing stuff like that, like I said, it's just super cool, and that's really the craziest thing to me. The amount of folks that are just so excited already for the next one, and it's super it's awesome. I love seeing that some of it is actually being spread out outside of outside of just Riptide too. The
Hmm.
LAN, the locals and regionals are really starting to pop off, which is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, especially with now, I think there's the next. I think within the next 3 months, a lot of both new locals are popping up, and also locals that have been around for the past year to 2 years, are
Mhm.
hosting their next events coming up. I only know because I love seeing all of the um their posts on like Blue Sky, like, are you missing this? Are you missing the missing Riptide already? So are we. How about you come to our local?
Yeah, I know it's super cool. Um we were talking about uh the NA League in TZS, right? And we were talking about, okay, what events, who can do what? And we're like, oh, there's an event here that people might go to. Oh, there's an event here I might go to. Um, and we're like, oh no, like what, what can we do? And luckily, I think we'll still make the minimum, if not more than the minimum, because for
Mhm.
those that don't know, at the NA League, uh, the five out of eight, if you make five out of the non preseason ones, the ones that start in October,
Yeah.
is the most amount of points you get is for 5 events. We're like, "Oh, Pepe's got Sunset Surge in there." There's a couple other ones, um, that, like, they're interested in going to. It's like in a span of, like, a month, there's, like, local, 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 local. It's like bang, 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 which is, like, it's super cool at the same time, right? That before we were struggling to even have locals anywhere,
Yeah.
uh and now it's like, oh my god, they're everywhere. And like that's a good thing, especially if the numbers for these events continue to stay high.
Mhm.
They're not cannibalizing each other. Could people still show up to all of them. Like it feels like people like Shiny are just every event, bronze,
Yeah.
every event. Like
Yeah, they've completely
if they're
taken
not
over
at
the
the
West
event, something
Coast.
has gone wrong. Yeah. It's super cool seeing those people go to all those. Some of them are a little bit insane to go to all of them, but at the same time, having that many options when historically there just hasn't been that many options is super cool, and I'm really excited for development of that. Right, the spread not just from the majors, but to all these smaller events are just some of these smaller events are running bigger than some of what would have been our majors before, which is just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you because I'm definitely one of the people that are psychotic and went to pretty much every major this year. Um, it's I think what I loved about knowing that even though they had low signups, for example, like MomoCon and and Gommel as they're like is that they're in their beginning phases. And I think that's so
Mhm.
exciting to see that while maybe some locals have higher signups and a lot more people going, which makes sense, they're locals, and it's also crazy to think that locals have that many people going, for like just the
Yeah.
1 day events. But it's so cool to see that like more majors are slowly becoming a thing, and that these the people that organize them and host them are willing to take the chance, where before I feel like we never really had the opportunity to, but because we're able to just grow so much within the past couple years, both in our local scene and just Lansing overall, I mean it's really awesome to see that chance being given to us.
By the way, I was able to pull up. I have a list that I'm starting to that we kind of started to compile. We didn't fully compile it,
Mhm.
but like one of the earliest majors we had 81 attendees. SNS 3, like the first like
Wow.
one of the 81 attendees. There's events like the New York event that are just pop beating that. SoCal, like the first SoCal, beat that.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of events that are beating the first Splatoon events ever that were like those are big events. Those are crazy numbers. And circling back also quickly, remember we are talking about the what event was the biggest one? If Riptide 23 beat the record, Riptide 23 did take the record. It beat SNS 5, which is 261. So that was the first one post COVID to beat SNS 5 post the
Wow.
start of COVID. So just something there to kind of throw out there numbers wise.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's probably something that I'm missing in here. There's plenty of events I'm missing in here. But this is just like trying to get majors together. I was able to find my sheet that was for sure. Still want to add more to it, but still crazy to think about one of the first kind of like major events had 81 people in SNS 3.
Yeah, and now that that's not even like a minimum that you see from locals anymore. Like that, like they're seeing close to above that for just a 1 day event. Like it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, even ones that are capped at like 16 teams, that's 64 players, and
Yeah.
that's not even including any substitutes. That's straight up just 4 people a team. So I mean, there's plenty. They're easily hitting 70 or plus, and if you were to take that cap away, they'd probably be breaking that
Yeah.
every single time. And those are local. Those are your small events. And that's just crazy to me. Wrapping back to the question, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it's insane, and it's just it's so wonderful to know that's the direction we're going into, and that the more the scene continues to grow from that, and the more eyes that we have. I mean, I think something I love seeing. It's such a minor thing, but when a lot of the Riptide posts were made, a lot of like for out the photo albums, or just the recap photos of like thank you for attending, a lot of those used Splatoon photos, not Smash Room photos. Like they use photos from the Splatoon rooms or from of Splatoon players, and it's just so incredible to see that we're having that effect where it's like we're kind of the draw to attention photos that people that they want to use.
Yeah, I think it's so cool because I mean, we had some great pictures of the crowd this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we have it every year. Be clear, our crowds are just fantastic pictures because people show up. People show up in incredible numbers. Like I said, we didn't have enough chairs this year, and we
Hmm.
thought we felt bad here because working with the Kalahari staff was putting out that many chairs. That we had to put out, right? I it was during we were starting to put them out during the collegiate event this year.
Mm.
We took down 2 stations to add more room. If you guys, for those that are Riptide, like wondering why the station numbers were a little bit wonky compared to from Saturday to Sunday, that's why. Because we took down 2 stations to add more chairs up to like the next level of stations, and it wasn't enough, which is just incredible to even think about, let alone being a reality. And just because people show up to those things, they come out and go cheer on these grand finals, or even well before the grand finals, pretty much most of top 32. It's loud in like the coolest way possible. And uh and so they take those pictures because they're just fantastic pictures. I mean, some of them they were before we had to yell at people because they were sitting because so many people wanna sit in the front rows and such, and we can't have
Mhm.
that. We can't have that legally, like, as a fire safety thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's
So I'd be
true.
like, "Hey, everybody gotta scoot back." Like, we have to have fire s I felt bad about doing it, but we have to, right? From, like, we want people to be unsafe, right? That's the number one thing before the event even matters is
Yep.
safety, then the event, right? And but some of the photographers got some of those pictures before we got them, and even then, even when everyone has their butts in chairs or are standing in positions that aren't a problem, right? Like, emergency exits or anything, it's just still amazing just seeing pretty much every chair occupied. If you go back and look at some of those pictures, there'll be just like a random chair here and there, and half the time it's because someone has a bag in it or something,
Yeah.
or so maybe someone went to the bathroom or something. You know what I mean? Like, it just like a random spattering of chairs, and then you see in the background just a whole circle of people standing behind it. So even if they had their butts in those chairs, there would still be people needing to stand because there's
Yeah.
so many. Just, I mean, we started pulling chairs, some of them from our stations once we were breaking them down just to bring them up there, just to
Mhm.
try to give a little bit of extra seating. Which I mean, it's only what 8 a station, but once we tear down, 6 or 8 stations, that's still, another over 50 seats, but that still wasn't enough.
Yeah, yeah, it would
Like,
the people just beat out the seat expectation.
yeah, crazy. Which I mean is just, and so that's just what makes it so good for pictures.
Mhm.
Alongside of that, I think we have a really cool stage. It was a really good design that they've worked on there. The level 1 crew
Yeah.
has kind of said, "Hey, we really like this idea. Can we make it possible, Aaron?" And Aaron was like, "Sure." And then it we tried it in previous years, right? I think this is our 3rd year with it, kind of that style with the TVs out front where you can see every person,
Mhm.
and then we have this like a long line, right? Nobody's facing each other. They're facing the crowd, right?
Yeah.
For those that have not gone to Riptide. Which that is just really good for pictures, I think, too. I think that's a great, like, you no one's all condensed up, you can see all the faces of the players, especially if you get it at an angle.
Mhm.
So a lot of photographers will take one at the angle, and then you can see the gameplay in the background and in the foreground, which is super cool. Alongside, if you take the picture from the side, you can even get some crowd and such, so it just makes really good pictures, and I think that the design of the stage really helps with that, so shout out to the level 1 crew for making that a reality and coming up with that plan, like, and it's been great. It's been super cool.
Yeah, and I think from a crowd point of view as well, it is very exciting to when, especially once a team wins, like they have their little pop offs, or even not if they once they just kind of have that little bit like their get up like of just success. Like it's really cool that you get to look at the player, and it's not just like how some events where it's like you're looking at like the side of them if they're back to back, or like you said if they're facing each other. You don't get that opportunity to see them, or if they're facing away. If they're facing away, I think was it? I think it was MomoCon. Yeah, MomoCon had the players facing away from the crowd. Um, so it was really cool to have it vice versa, where it's like you see them, see their pop off, you see them have that excitement. Like it was a beautiful touch.
Oh, it's really, really cool, and, like, I really love that you get to see everybody's POV, assuming, like, my
Yeah.
HDMI doesn't come loose,
Yeah.
because that happens sometimes. You get to see all 8 players' POVs. So, like, if you let's say you are a really big fan of, uh looking at someone like Gray that came this year, right? Flew all the
Hmm.
way out from France to come to Riptide, which is super cool. Um, if you are a really big Gray fan, you want to go watch Gray, you can go sit in the front row or near the front row and watch just their POV. Like, hey, I really like what you do. I want to see how you're doing and how I can get better. Obviously you can do that in every other station, but stage historically, that's not a thing you can do.
Hmm.
It's usually you get to see whatever is being streamed to IPL or Splatoon Tourney or whatever. It's always been IPL for Riptide for our mainstream, but we had side stream, which has been Splatoon Tourney historically.
Hmm.
Um, I think we was on actually Chara's channel the first year we did, and then we switched. We have done it since Splatoon Tourney. But like, so you've only historically ever seen that one POV, whatever they captured. So you wouldn't see somebody else pop off because occasionally, right? Even with awesome, awesome people that we have that do the spec cam, right? We have some people that literally are have worked with Nintendo to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That- so like they know what they're doing. They make amazing work. But even then, sometimes there may be two people popping up at the same time, so they can't capture both of them. You might be able to capture that as well, or like that. You can really focus on that one player if you really, really like that one player and
Mhm.
see what they're doing right, what they do wrong, and you can learn from it. You can almost like if you play that weaponry or that style, you can learn a lot from that. I like that from like a person that tries to look at this Splatoon not just from a like I'm a player, lol. Like I want to look into what people are doing right, what people do wrong, what I do right, what I do wrong. Obviously, I can't do that for myself, but because I'm not
Yeah.
playing. But like I can still look at that and say, hey, you're another brush player. What are you doing right that maybe I can learn from? Uh, or what you're doing wrong that maybe I can learn from as well, right? That play didn't work. Okay. Oh, that play really, really worked. I like that. I might steal it or twist it to my own doing. Um, so I like that from like a player from a spectator point of view. That increases the value of it a lot, in my opinion. And like I said, you can obviously we talked about a lot being that you can see the faces. And I think that's really cool seeing people pop off like, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I got three, let's go, 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 and seeing their faces and reactions instead of back ahead or sides ahead. Because the old Riptide one we had it where they were sideways.
Mhm.
We just basically had a standard station on the stage instead of the long one that we have now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was an incredible, it definitely a very viewer appreciated perspective and photography appreciated perspective too. So what's
Man.
next for Kraken Mayor? What I know you earlier in the when we were talking you said the NA League, but what's next for you? What you got planned for the rest of the year?
For me, it is a little bit of cleaning up the last few remnants of things we have to deal with Riptide. We'll probably have a feedback form and such very soon. We are a little bit
Nice.
slow on it, but I've been time with my significant other that is here for until Sunday. So please excuse my slowness on that. um, I'm enjoying my time there a little bit because like I said, that's only a very limited time, and it
Mhm.
hasn't happened in years now. We've had a chance to be in person together, so we're just cleaning up the last few things that needed to be mopped up before we can officially put the bow on Riptide 2025. So that's my next like week or so, maybe. I think the last thing right now we have. I guess I still have to do a little bit of. We're gonna do a couple meetings with like production and
Mhm.
such. So I don't. Those aren't scheduled yet, but
Yeah.
everything I've scheduled it ends on next Friday. So I'm
Nice,
hoping,
nice.
hoping we can have a bow on it by the end of the month, pretty much, roughly, which is nice. Uh, because for those that don't know, I mean, stuff still continue to happen for the next few weeks. It's a lot later,
Mhm.
and like I said, it's less like in, urgent, right? It's not like oh the tournament's tomorrow. It's like oh, we can get to that a little bit later. We get to a little bit later. But for me, I think the biggest thing right now is just kind of going back into competitor. I hope that's
Mhm.
kind of the lockdown I'm going to try to lock into a little bit. Always investigating a few different leads that occasionally run into things, occasionally don't. Maybe throwing out a random tournament or two, because sometimes I get the urge to run some funny or something like that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. You gotta enjoy it.
I don't do as much as I used to. I mean, it was literally when IPL first came out, like as IPL after it went from just low ink, every single tournament I was there. Every SOS, every we had what was it? TG testing grounds,
Oh,
training
okay.
grounds. Like what else? Every low ink, every event we ran, I was there for like months. And so it would be like multiple times a month I'm just there doing I mean, it wasn't sometimes it was just chilling doing nothing. Other times it was producing, sometimes it was actually TOing. So like I don't do that crazy, but occasionally I get the itch like I just want to do something random. And I think that's if anything, that's what I'm gonna do TOing wise. But I feel like a lot of things are covered by the current community. So it's like
Mhm.
not really much of a reason for me to just throw something on top of the pile right now,
Yeah, no, makes
unless it
sense.
feels like it has a niche that's needed, right? That's
Mhm.
what when we created Low Ink, that's why we created Low Ink. It felt like it was a niche that was needed at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so like unless I have a niche or like things clear up a little bit. I probably won't run anything in the near future, though. I have a lot of things ready to go that I could wind it up pretty quickly, grab a couple people, and run some funny tournaments. Oops, all Wahoo World. I like Wahoo, but that's a story for another. Picked Wahoo World for Porkschmork, who is the biggest Wahoo World enjoyer. That is sarcastic.
I love
That's
to hear it. Yeah, but
uh,
that's good to hear that you got some final wrapping ups to do. You're excited. What how do you feel TZS will do um coming for the NA League this weekend?
we are gonna play this weekend in the preseason. We aren't gonna play next weekend, just because there's a couple people I think that have events on the 27th.
Okay.
But so we will play this weekend, so that'll be a good gauge a little bit. We are going to be running a tight five. We already have the five kind of planned out. Michu's kind of burned out on the game, and Brian's in Japan, so that
Mm.
knocks down that he's not
Yeah.
available. So it's the other five of us. Pork that I mentioned,
hmm
Vapor, Pepe, David, and myself.
hmm
Um, so like the five of us are going to be doing it. This weekend I'll probably be a little bit of a lighter, um, a lighter appearing because again, my significant other leaves on Sunday.
Yeah.
Uh, so like this week will be a lighter one for me, and but going into the once we get into October, I'll be full. Pending something crazy coming up, I'm available for every single one.
Nice.
And as long as we have four, we will be participating. I think only one that we don't have, there's like one where Sunset Surges in November
hmm
that we for sure don't have for that weekend. I think our plan is to make 6 out of 8 of the main events, and
Okay.
then, of course, the one preseason. 'Cause like I said, you only need to make 5. That's the maximum amount of points you can get is your top 5 ones,
Okay. Yeah.
if I recall the rules correctly. I might be wrong. So, read the rules, folks.
Yeah.
Read the rules! Nintendo rules especially, they're always a little bit funkier than a standard tournament. So,
Yep.
we sat down as a team and we ran through all of it. And then there'll probably be one more that we miss. We just don't know yet whenever somebody has something come up.
hmm Yeah. You never
Some
know.
people like DRF are like, I don't want to make every single one. I have a life. I'm like, we get you, buddy. We understand.
Yep.
Uh, like that Pepe wants to go to a couple, maybe another one of the lands in that like span right around Sunset Surge. Uh, that we were talking about, like that whole span of bang, 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 bang lands. He wants to at least, I think, go to one of those. So that might be one we miss. But like I said, I think we're trying to aim for 6 or 7 for the
Nice.
NA League. I think we'll do pretty good though. Um, I would love to be like, I would. I think it's reasonable for us to have a shot to make top 8 out of. We are going to be a team probably showing up to so many of them.
hmm
So like some teams are gonna only gonna show up to maybe 4 of them, right?
hmm
So that will help boost our score a little bit. That is an advantage TZS has. I won't lie that we tend to show up to a lot. Or when we are locked in, we are gonna show up and everything. And like these ladders, we tend to probably do some of the most games, if not the most games, almost every ladder. We just bang through ladder sets. It's incredible. um, so there's a non-zero chance we play the most sets if of any team. Uh, unless somebody plays like all 8.
Yeah.
Like, um, so like that I think we'll do well though. I think we'll have a run in that top area. Like I said, out of we're de-rusting. TZS got the with Floops, right? We had a substitute at Riptide. They finished top 12. DRF Pork and Pepe plus Floops from Helios. If
mm.
so, like and they picked up Floops like 2 weeks before the event. So 2 weeks of just practicing, a couple days a week, and they were able to do that. I would hope that with someone that's had years of synergy with them, that we were able to maybe even build upon that, right?
Yeah. No.
And
Exactly.
and like I said, that's not taking away from Floops at all because they played really, really freaking well.
hmm
When they were going through tryouts, I was kind of helping a little bit. I'm like, Floops, you go Floops. Like everybody else that's trying out is amazing, but I think Floops was exactly what they filled. as which was super cool. And I think it was the right call. And Vapor, by the way, with PSU, Blue still made top 16 for Riptide. So everybody from TZS that participated at Riptide made at least top 16 again
Hmm.
this year. They did last year as well. They, as a team with Vapor and not Floops, they made top 16 as well. So 2 years in a row, Riptide TZS is doing good. And now we're kind of getting practice again. That was historically the last like year and a half. TZS has not really been practicing. We're actually practicing. We have plans. We have planned practice, Cactus.
Wow. That's how you know things are getting serious when you're actually able to get into practice. You love to hear it.
Maybe I should learn to drink water, Cactus. Maybe that's what I need to learn in the short term because apparently that's winning. Water is
Yeah,
winning,
yeah, it's
and
okay. That's
I
the
mean it's
that's the
one
short term
thing.
goal. Long term goal is the tournament. Short term is the drinking water.
Yeah, I mean we're inklings, so I mean water is a little bit of a
Yeah, true, true,
uh
true.
so it kind of makes sense. Maybe what do they they every drink we see is always like some sort of like mixed drink. It's never like a it has like flavorings and such in it. It's never like just straight up water. So maybe they can have water. Maybe that's why I'm choking, Cactus. But again, with us having practice, I'm super super excited because that means that we're gonna be coming in as well as we can. The first one or so might be a little bit bumpy. We find ways to do that with the other NA leagues where they kind of did like four in a row or so. Like our first one
Mhm.
is usually our worst showing. Um, so I won't be too surprised. But I think we should place very high every time, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're constantly, at least for a good chunk of them, we're going to be placing in the top 8
Mhm.
for those particular events. And if you're making top 8, if you can make top 8 all 5 events, you're pretty much a lock to get top 8, pending some teams that did really well in top 8, but maybe got, ninth or 10th a couple times, because
Yeah.
the way the point system works on this, it's like if you make top 8, you get a bunch, and you get a bunch of bonus points for where you place in top 8, which can be a lot of points, especially if you win or get second place. So that can be like equivalent to like 2 ninth places.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So, so I think we'll be if we don't finish near like top 16 overall in points, I would be really surprised.
Mhm.
But the goal is to at least make the final. I think that would be super cool of us to do. We've made Sendu finals. We've played well in other NA leagues. We'd like having things like turf war and all modes existing.
Mhm.
And so I think that's something that we do better than a lot of other teams, especially at around our skill level, where we can have that little bit of edge going into something like turf war, or oh, we really know what map modes we do well on. Oh,
Yeah.
so you picked say tower control. Oh, we know what map we want to go on tower control framework.
Mhm.
Maybe slightly tweak it if like the opponents um have a good matchup on that or something like
Mhm.
maybe we'll go to our second option. We kind of have that all planned out already. Kind
Yeah.
of what we like, what we don't like. Obviously, this preseason will be a good way to kind of gauge that a little bit if we need to make any tweaks to it. But we know what we like already. We've already talked about it before we signed up, which is super cool. I love that we actually sat down and talked about it. I don't
Mhm.
think a lot of teams do.
Yeah.
And I think that gives us a little bit of an advantage. Knowing the rules gives you an advantage, kids. Make sure to read the rules.
Yep.
Also, you'll make every TO happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the more you expressed your knowledge of what you've been able to comprehend when it comes to the rule sets, like you're gonna make TO's lives a lot easier.
95% of your questions are answered by reading
Yeah.
reading the rules. Genuinely, every rule set for every tournament that has like a good public rule set, like straight up, they've gone through the ringer, especially if it's something something like low ink that's been there for ages. SOS, uh, you know, paddling pool, any of those tournaments have run for literally dozens or hundreds of events.
Mhm.
they've gone through all of the different asterisks that come up, so they throw it in their rules. So
Yeah.
like I said, almost any question you're gonna have for help desk is gonna be answered in your in
In the
reading the
rules.
rules. And Nintendo's another one that's just like that because they want every little asterisk, especially for legal reasons, the ones that may be involved for legal things, right? Like pricing and such. That's all in there.
Yeah.
That's all in there already. They don't really hide much. They technically can hide certain things, but not anything that's going to be valuable to you playing the game.
Yeah, yeah.
um, so like reading it, you have every little baby detail that you could imagine that you need to know. But now we're getting on a tangent for rule sets, and but I like to hammer that anytime I can. Read the rules.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, it's always good to have that set in for people's minds too. So, but that's awesome to hear though that it sounds like your NA League experience is going to be incredible, and you have a good mindset going straight forward into it. Um, besides that, then, Krakenmare, I believe that's everything I have for you. So this is a part of the podcast where I like to kind of pass over the mic and kind of the floor is yours. Say anything else that you'd like to add in, give any shout outs you'd love to give out, shout yourself out where people can find you, etc. The mic is yours.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Cactus.
Hmm.
That's number one. This is awesome. I love getting to yap. Who doesn't love to yap? I love to.
Exactly.
Um, I wish I could yap with more of you all at Riptide. Find us on day 3. We can yap. Then usually, as long as a player doesn't have anything that we need to do, please. When we're in, if it's not day 3, like other lands, the ones that have like maybe 1 day or 2 days,
Hmm.
ones that are in like the final bracket, best time to find TOs and yap. We love to yap. We do. We genuinely do. We just don't have time.
Yeah.
But if you do it in bracket when it's basically running itself, best time to yap. Sorry. Side note. Um, but again, thanks for having me, Cactus. I really do
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
Um, Shout outs to everyone that went to Riptide this year or any previous year. You guys are awesome. It really means so much to have all of you come out and support the event. Those even from home, super excited to go to the event. Those like or watch the event. It's just crazy to me when I see people on Twitter. I can't wait to watch for the event. Oh, it's like there's people that have do all sorts of things to watch Riptide and excited to and go back and watch the VODs later and everything. It's just super cool. So shout out to all of you, both that have gone to Riptide and those that support it from afar. Because even those that are supporting from afar, it means a lot. It genuinely. Go follow TZS on Blue Sky and Twitter and such. Uh, those guys are cool. I like them. They're pretty cool. That's why I keep them around. And I apparently haven't done anything to make them leave. So
Yeah,
leave
so you
me.
know you're
So
doing
that's pretty
something right.
cool. Every day I'm just waiting, thrown out of the group chat. um, and then I don't think I have really any. Well, I guess I should shout my. Find me on Krakenmare77 on pretty much everything. Yeah. I stream Splatoon 2, Splatoon 2 TOO, maybe Splatoon 2 TWO occasionally, but right here on YouTube and Twitch. Pretty cool. Yeah, Splatoon. I'll probably play it with Kin literally as soon as we're done. Start it up at like 10 o'clock. And I'm assuming we'll probably wrap up here in the next few minutes. Probably start it right at the hour.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, same here. I gotta get some my daily streams in, so
Yeah.
I'll be there as well, just doing some maybe late night X-Rank. Who knows?
All right. You know what? Let's go find +1 and make it an open.
With SOS being
Maybe
today,
that
who
person
knows?
that decided to not tell us they were coming.
Oh
You yeah, put them. The
Oh
person that will
my god.
not be named that we love, we both love them.
Exactly.
So I won't put them on blast, but they know who they are if they're listening.
Oh, that yeah, exactly. I'll expect the DM later.
And also shout out one more shout out to the Riptide team because you
Mhm.
guys are all of them from Rays to production, to the folks at the top, people like Connor, Jade, Maddie, Aaron. Without all of you, the event would not be possible, and it's super cool. And of course, the volunteers, commentators, everybody that helps the event in any way. You all are awesome.
And
I think I've shouted out everybody. Probably not. I'm probably forgetting somebody. Whoever I'm forgetting, shout outs to you. You know who
hey.
you are. I love you. Whoever you are. I'm probably forgetting. I'm gonna as soon as we end, I'm gonna be like, I forgot that person.
Yep.
No, no. And I will forget it. I will go through the crisis mentally on myself. So that'll be my payback for free.
Yeah, yep. Oh man. Well, with that being said, then Krakenmare, it's been such a pleasure to have you on and discuss Riptide. Good luck to you and the rest of TZS in the NA League this weekend and the upcoming weekends that you all decide to plan. I know there's a couple multi-week periods, so that's gonna be really fun to see, keep track of, and see how things go forward. But yeah, that'll do it from us here over at the Cactus Patch. Thank you all for watching and or probably mainly listening, since that's what you do with the podcast anyway. Yeah, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time with whatever topic may be roaring in the scene at the time with whoever guest decides to magically appear on this show. So thank you all so much.